Hello, my friends, and welcome to Radio Shack, your home of the latest electronics. Actually, wait a second. Radio Shack is closed. This is the Databits program, and I have a whole pile of electronics here that I want to show you. We're going to kind of combine some of them together today for a test, and the test is going to be between this system here, this turntable that has a magnetic cartridge in it, and this more modern turntable here that has a ceramic cartridge in it. So what is the rest of all this stuff? Well, I have a Tronsmart speaker. This is a Bluetooth 40-watt mega element speaker, and I'm going to use that for playback. I'll show you that here shortly. I also have this Project 3 Popular Science stereo test record from the 1960s. Still a very valid test record. I got it out the other day, and as I was preparing to make this video and playing it through this Tronsmart, some really interesting playback stuff on there. So I'm going to play it for you through the Tronsmart speaker. I also have that Tronsmart, which is right here. I have that connected to this JVC. It is a MX-G5 bookshelf system with dual cassette. It's missing the 5-disc CD changer and tuner that I did not purchase with it. Didn't care about that particular part of it, but I wanted this bookshelf system because it has a phono input, so it's great for testing turntables. Down below it, we have a couple of JVC speakers. Again, we're not going to use them for this setup, but there they are. I also have this TV400. It's a Casio liquid crystal color television, probably from the 1980s. Still had the original box, and this thing looks absolutely immaculate. Look at this thing, extremely clean. I was hoping it would work right out of the box. Most of the Sonys that I find like this do work. This one did not. It has a green screen. Yeah, that's all it does, and it makes a whining sound. Also found these Maxell UDS290 blank tapes. Found these also at Goodwill, which is our thrift shop here in the area. Also a Scotch XS2. That is a 60-minute and position 2 chrome tape. And here is the Maxell again up close. This turntable that we have here is a Onkyo. It is a auto return turntable. Its model number is CP-1007A. It has an aluminum platter, and it is also belt driven. You can see that happening right there. The weird thing is that it uses a little clutch, I guess you'd call it, to change the speeds. Simply by moving that little lever back and forth, it moves the belt on different spots of the pulley, changing the speed from 33 to 45 RPM. It has an Audio Technica cartridge. We'll hear that here shortly. And it also has a real counterweight right there, as well as an anti-skating control right there. This deck turntable has some interesting features, first of which is the really impressive looking piano black finish, which is kind of nice. It does have a plastic platter on it, and it is belt driven, but it is also a, you can see the belt down in there. It is also an electronically controlled speed, which is kind of nice. You can change the speed here from 33 to 45, do your start and stop, turn your power off and on. You also have a headphone jack. On the back is a USB jack as well as a stereo left and right RCA jack. Okay, so that's the summary of all of the electronics that we have here today in this very funky setup. Now, when people look at modern turntables like the Crosleys, for example, those are equipped with a ceramic cartridge. Now, there's some reasons that you wouldn't want to buy one of these turntables, and most of you know what the reason is. The first reason is that these turntables will shred your records. Now, I put a record on it earlier, and here is the result of that. It completely shredded it, all right? You can see all the fragments of that record right there. So be warned, you've seen the evidence of it. These turntables do shred records. But beyond the shredding of the records, there's really something important you need to know. These turntables are not giving you all of the sound that is on the record. A magnetic cartridge like this one that is on this turntable here, this will in fact give you all of the frequency response of a record, okay? And I'm actually going to demonstrate that for you. You're going to hear the difference between these two turntables, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, I have to get one like this. Even if I get an old retro turntable, it is going to give me more of my music than this guy is, okay? So the biggest deal isn't the shredding, right? It is the fact that you are missing out on a lot of the music that could be heard but isn't heard because of the limitations of these cheap pickups that are on these turntables, okay? So let's demonstrate that. One of the cool features of this Popular Science stereo test record is the fact that it has a speed strobe built in. So if I turn on the turntable, you'll notice that right there it is showing us a steady set of lines. They're not moving to the left, they're not moving to the right. They're steady, okay? Now if I put that same disc on our left turntable, notice how they're dancing off to the right there? That's indicating that there's a speed problem. So what you do is you have to adjust it. Now, since the one on the right has electronic speed control, it can probably be adjusted via some potentiometers on the inside or maybe on the bottom of the turntable. This one, being a belt-driven turntable, doesn't really give us that option. In fact, probably the only thing that we could do to remedy it would be to replace the belt, because we may just have a slipping belt in there. But again, that's a very good test of whether or not your turntable is spinning at the proper speed. Let's do our first test on the ceramic cartridge. I want you to hear the difference, okay? Because this doesn't sound real bad. So let's give it a shot.
First, we have a basic rhythm sound in a pattern which is played on the acoustic guitar. Now we are going to establish a rhythm pattern using a Fender bass, unamplified guitar, an amplified guitar, and drums. Here's Georgie Girl, which features on the left speaker 4 guitars, consisting of an electric 12-string guitar, 2 electric guitars, and a 6-string bass guitar.
During our first test, we simply mic'd the sound that was coming from the Tronsmart. For our second test, we're going to use a direct line in from the JVC amplifier, and we're going to use a selection from the 8 Seasons of Chromalox, okay, which you see here on my turntable. This has been used many times on the Databits channel, and people just love it. So here's how it works. The JVC is queued up, we got our line set correctly, and then out of that headphone jack going down here into this bay ringer UCA 202, which converts analog audio into a USB 3.0 input here on my laptop, and then we'll be running it into Audacity. So let's begin. Well, I hope you enjoyed that demonstration, and now you can hear the differences between the ceramic and the magnetic cartridges. The ceramic just does not have the oomph or power of music that you get and the frequency response of a magnetic cartridge. I want to play you one more selection from the 8. Oh no. The worst has happened. This turntable shredded my 8 Seasons of Chromalox record. Ugh. Well, I warned myself, didn't I? All right, well, if you're interested, I'd like to spend a little bit more time and talk about the Tronsmart 40-watt speaker that I've been trying out and go over some more of the features of it. So let's do that now. All right, so in the first part of this video, you got to hear this Tronsmart playing, and I really like the frequency response of this speaker. It has a very natural sound to it, has a nice bassy response. I don't know how they did that in such a tiny little box here. We got our mode selector here, which basically selects your input, and then these controls here are when you're connected via Bluetooth or when you're playing music off of a micro mini SD card. And then you have your NFC connector there, or not connector, but just a little port there where you can place your Android phone and pair to it. Volume control is just sliding your finger across that line right there. It's very, very convenient. And of course, the whole top end lights up when you turn it on, as you can see there. And then flip it around here and look at the back. So there's where our SD card goes there to your right, next to the charging port, which is right there. We have an on-off switch, and we also have our 3.5 millimeter port, which we used for the demonstration in this video. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to play some music off the SD card, and I'm going to go ahead and just kind of sit back from it a little bit. Just place it on a couch in a normal listening environment and let you hear what this thing sounds like, just to give you an idea of how loud this thing gets, okay? Sounded pretty good, didn't it? Sounded like a jazz band is like living in the pillows of my couch. Hey, I've got another video queued up for you guys. It's this is yet to be made. It's a video about this VCR. This is a Super VHS VCR made by Mitsubishi, and it uses perfect tape technology. What is perfect tape technology? We don't know yet. It's got VCR Plus, and it's a model number HSU760. So this thing's got an issue, so we're going to kind of work on it together and get it fixed. But in any case, just want to thank you guys for joining us today, and share this video with a friend. Visit me on Facebook. You can find me at facebook.com/1 and databits. Share the video, subscribe, and leave some comments below. Look forward to hearing from you, and we'll see you next time.